There is so much more to life than living paycheck to paycheck, or feeling like you can't splurge out a little bit just in case of what's going to come as a result, or wanting to be generous with your money, but not being able to because you've just got enough for yourself. And I know this because this was me for the first 23 years of my life until I understand the concept of manifestation. And I went from being poor, living paycheck to paycheck, loads of debt, struggling every single day, to making 5-figure months in my business, all debts paid off, able to be generous, able to help, and willing to give back. So what I'm going to be doing in this video is giving you a daily process that you can follow to manifest any level of wealth. And to ensure that I cover all bases, I'll give you some tips and nuances to help you along this journey to be specific with where this money comes from, how much you get, and so on. Now, this video is inspired by last week's video where I gave you a daily plan to manifest a person. So if you need that, go back and watch that one as well. And it's going to be the same general concepts, just with the nuances of money. So when you end up enjoying this video, or if it gives you some good ideas, drop me a like and a comment, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and if you would like to work with me one-to-one, check out everything that's linked down below in the comment section and the description. But without further ado, let's just dive right in. So the first thing that you need to consider is, what do you want? Now, this video is targeted at money, but like I said, you can tailor this to be from a business or a lottery winning or inheritance, should you so wish to. Just because it's aimed at money doesn't mean you have to just stick to certain amounts of money. And there's a few different reasons why you may want to do that, or why you may want to go with the thing that you want the money for, which I'll explain at the end in the nuances section. So please do stick out to there so you can hear that and a couple of other things that I have in mind. But what do you want? Do you want a 5-figure months in your business? Do you just want a random £10,000 to land in your account? Do you want to win the lottery? Do you want to win a bingo this weekend and get the jackpot from that? What do you want? What money, what career outcome, what business do you want? What is it that you want from money? How much and where from? I urge you for this video to get a pen and paper so you can just kind of keep up with the things, but where do you want this money to come from? How much do you want it to be? Now, the world is your oyster because you are the creative power. So if you want to earn 5 figures through your business, that's fine. If you want the £90 bingo winnings this weekend, that is fine. If you want consistent monthly income that grows and grows and grows, that is fine. But you need to get clear, because a journey with no destination could land you anywhere. So let's get clear. What do you want? That is the first step. I recommend being as specific as is necessary for you. If you know that you just want £10,000 in your bank account and you don't care if that comes from a scratch card or if it's inheritance or if you get a bonus from work, just go with the 10K. Leave your subconscious mind the capabilities to bring it from any which way. But if you know, nope, I want my business to succeed and I want to be earning £10,000 per month, £10,000 per month from my business is what your focus is. So what do you want? Get clear on it. That's the first step. Now we need to understand where we're going with it and how we're going to make it our identity. So what I urge you to do, just like last video, there's 3 components that we will be taking into consideration. There's the creative work, there's the responsive work, and there's detaching. For this creative side or proactive side, we want to be proactive with placing ourselves in the end state. So what I urge you to do before I give you the times and how long for and everything is get clear on the kinds of techniques and processes that you would like to use to manifest this money. If you're an affirmations person, come up with affirmations that detail what you want. If you're a visualization person, come up with visualizations that detail what you want. Same for inner conversations, same for scripts, same for sigils, or whatever else you could possibly want. A couple of examples just for the main ones. You could affirm something like, using the business model, I'm so happy to earn £10,000 per month through my business. If it's a visualization, you could visualize your PayPal account or bank account or whatever it is that you use for this business or would like to use, seeing an incoming payment of £10,000, or at the end of the month having £10,000 leave your business account and go into your personal account. Visualize that. Or if it's in a conversation, you could converse with your friend or your mum or your partner and say, hey, look, the business has made £10,000 this month. How amazing is it? And have them saying, well, you're amazing. Of course it happened, for example. Get clear on what your anchoring affirmation, visualization, script in a conversation, anything like that is going to be. Now we move on to the first pillar, the first point of the triangle, proactive work. I urge you for 5 to 10 minutes in the morning upon waking, while getting ready for work, sort of that early morning time when you've just woken up, and for 5 to 10 minutes in the evening prior to falling asleep, or if you're able to, even better, fall asleep to what you're doing, of just looping this proactive affirmation visual script. You could have any amount of affirmations you like, that's fine. You can have any kind of length of visualization and in a conversation, it's fine by me, as long as what you're doing in those moments is helping you proactively show your subconscious mind, I'm earning £10,000 per month from my business, or I've won the lottery, or whatever it is that you decided is your metric. And the reason why we're doing this is in the morning and night, you're naturally in a more subconsciously receptive state because you're kind of coming out of that theta wave and going into alpha, or you're coming out of beta into alpha and then further into theta if you do it while sleeping. And alpha, theta, and delta, the subconscious mind gets more receptive as it goes. So utilizing these two times not only starts your day better, it starts you in the state and hopefully carries that state forward, and ends your day in that state, hopefully sort of rounding off a good day in that state. It's also actually using when your mind is more naturally receptive to stories, which is just a win-win in my opinion. So 5 to 10 minutes in the morning, 5 to 10 minutes in the evening, or fall asleep to it, or both if you want to, that's fine too. Then we move on to the second point, which is that responsive side of things. What is responsive? Well, as we go through our days, I do urge you, and this will come up more in point 3, but I do urge you to live your best life until your desire naturally comes to mind, or until you're genuinely doing nothing else. Now, I will explain why in point 3, but hear me out on this. When your desire naturally comes to mind, you're already thinking about it. You may as well ensure that it goes the right way. So in those moments, if the thoughts come up and they're good things about having the job that you want, having the money, having the car that you could pay for with the money, whatever it is that you want, let them play out. If your mind is naturally bringing up good stuff regarding your desire, that's a win. And you should just absolutely let it do its thing because it's naturally bringing those thoughts up. And if it's natural, then that's a good showing of what your mind is taking in. Now, if it comes up and it's sort of neutral, and it's like neutral, doesn't really do anything, doesn't really help along the story, just guide it back in with a little visualization or a little affirmation or something to the favored story. Just top up your state, for want of a better term. If it's undesired, like, oh my God, I'm never going to be able to pay for this bill or something like that, in those moments, stop, take a couple of deep breaths just to calm and center the mind, and then absolutely replace those thoughts with your new affirmations, with your new identity, with whatever you have chosen to be your metric for entering the desired state. And what this is going to do is it's going to act as a top up for your state. So if you start the day right and you end the day right, and then you keep an eye on your thoughts as you go through your day and ensure you end them in the positive, there will be no space for that negative, only space for that impression, only space for you to experience what you want. So that's going to help keep your state topped up. You're going to start the day right, top yourself up as you go through, and then end your day right. But that then leads us into the third component, which is detachment. Just like a seed, you plant it, you water it, you give it sunlight, and let it grow. Your manifestation is the same. You're watering it by doing the day and night stuff. You're giving it sunlight and what it needs by topping up your state. Outside of those components, live your best life and let your manifestation seed grow. If you are constantly digging it up, checking where it is, panicking, doubting, fearing, you are not giving your subconscious mind the time and space to bring it to pass. It is the equivalent of digging up that seed to constantly see where it is and how well it's doing and so on and so forth. Not helpful. Your subconscious mind needs space to let your desire grow. So outside of the sort of proactive work and outside of the responsive work, live your best life. Do the things that make you happy, be sociable, be present at work, have hobbies, do things that take your mind off of your desire so your subconscious mind can actually go to work in the background. Just for a little bit of fun, let's remind ourselves that over the years, it's become more popular to talk about manifestation from the sort of quantum physics side. People keep talking about quantum entanglement and, all of these different terminologies and such utilizing quantum physics. But let me use a quantum physics process to explain exactly what I mean here. And hopefully, if you're one of the quantum physics manifestation fans, this might sort of click. We know that within the quantum realm, observation of something breaks down the wave function, dictating the final product. Schrödinger's cat is the very common thought experiment for this, which ironically, for those of you who don't know, Schrödinger's cat, the thought experiment, was meant to actually be a rebuttal for why quantum physics was so ridiculous to begin with. And then it was kind of taken in and gone, oh, actually, you may have stumbled on to something here, which I think is quite fascinating in and of itself. But Schrödinger's cat is this idea that before observation, the cat is both alive and dead. All possibilities exist, and it's only upon opening the box and checking that the wave function of possibilities is broken down into a solid form. Think of your manifestation like the same thing. If you are constantly checking it to see where it is at, you are constantly breaking down the wave function into what your observation is, which is that of, I don't have it yet, so I'm checking where it is. Therefore, if in the quantum world, and if everyone wants to keep bringing this quantum side of manifestation into their explanations, look at it from that perspective. Each time you are checking from the perspective of, I don't have it, where is it? You are breaking down the wave function to repeatedly show you not having it. So have a break from it momentarily by getting on with stuff and let your subconscious mind build it in the background, and you will be presented with the outcome. But that is the detachment side. You can do that through just simply being busy. You can do that through self-concept work so it's less valuable to you, or at least your self-concept deems you to pedestalize yourself alongside of it, or maybe even above it, so it is less valuable to you. Or you can do this through providing yourself, where possible, what you want this thing to provide you. So using money, most of us want money for freedom. Just a little example, I suppose. If you feel like you need more money to feel free, where could you remove things so you have more money to feel free? We've all got a subscription that we don't need anymore. We're all overpaying for things that, could just help you to remove just a little bit. Not necessarily as a cope, but more as a, now you don't feel so stressed about money, which means you won't be as stressed when manifesting money, helping you get money, for example. But that's the detachment side of things. By keeping yourself occupied between your proactive and your responsive times, you allow the subconscious mind to get to work in the background. My other light died. These lights have such terrible battery. But you allow your subconscious mind to kind of get to work in the background, bringing what you want to pass, and you will experience it. Now, to round off this video, I want to talk about some of the nuances that come with money manifestations. If you want the money for something specific, I do urge to focus on having that specific thing anyway, like as the focus. And you can use this same routine to help you do that. But let's say you want to have, you want to win the lottery so you can then buy yourself a McLaren 12C. Just manifest having the McLaren 12C. And the reason why I say that is because if you manifest the money for a McLaren 12C, I don't know how much they cost, but let's just say for argument's sake, they're £90,000. If you get that £90,000, that's your manifestation done if you were just focusing on the money, which then could potentially lead you into using that money for other stuff, not getting the McLaren, or an unexpected bill comes and you have the money to pay for it, so you pay for it, but then you don't get the McLaren. Whereas if you go to the end of having a McLaren, your subconscious mind has to provide you that for the manifestation to be true. So I urge you, if it's for something specific, just focus on the specific thing. Now, if you just want money to have money so you can buy whatever you want, whenever you want, then focus on the money. Have it in your back pocket, be able to do that. This is a nuance that would be based on what you think is better for your situation. I've manifested the specific things just to get it from any means, but I've also manifested 5 figures in my business, for example, because having that money there is nice. So take what you want and where you want that money from and kind of decide what would be best, whether to go for the thing or whether to go for the money, and go from that. Now, the other side, the other nuance that I want to consider in this video, and I am making a full money program, which will have every kind of possibility, identity shifts, and so on and so forth, which will have all the details there. So be ready for that when it comes out. But the other thing that I want you to consider is how to live your life as you go through trying to manifest this money. Many people, for example, will go shopping and they'll be like, well, if I had loads of money, I would just buy stuff. Yeah, and that consciousness can help you. I did that myself once. I unblocked my money issues by paying for a PlayStation 5 outright. And I'll give you a little bit of a story just so you can see where I'm coming from. I really wanted to get a PlayStation 5 because my friends they'd all bought one for the Helldivers game that was really popular at the time. And I kept umming and ahhing whether I wanted to spend money on a PlayStation. And my thoughts were never that of, I can't afford it, but my thoughts were constantly like, well, you know, if I get it, am I going to want that money for something else? Is it a silly money thing? And I wasn't coming from an abundant state with money in those moments. Even though I had the money to do it, I was looking at the situation from lack more than anything. And I kind of decided, I was like, you know what? I would rather play with my friends and have a good few evenings of joy as opposed to just hold on to this money in case something else comes out or something else comes up. So I just dropped the money on the PlayStation and didn't think about it again. Because I was no longer then clogging myself up with like money things start to flow again. And, you know, I got clients coming back in quite easily. My videos started going well again because I'd unclogged my manifestation of money. So you can do the spending money to make money kind of process. But if by spending money, you then panic because you don't have money, I wouldn't urge that, because then you're just going to go into that panic and create it. So what I urge you to do instead is have the perspective of, I could, but I won't. What I mean by that is, take the PlayStation example that I gave. If I had just gone, I can afford this PlayStation, easy peasy, but I'm not going to buy it because I don't have space for it. That's me making the decision not to spend, not because I don't have money, but because I don't have space. Creating a different reason as to why I won't spend money. You could quite literally go onto your Amazon basket right now, put all of these things in, and I've done this before myself as well, and it works, and go, £600? That's pennies. I could get all of that, but I don't really want to I don't want to wait for the deliveries right now, so I'm not going to bother. I'll wait until, you know, I'll get Prime, and then once I get Prime, then I'll get them all, so I get quicker delivery. Your subconscious mind doesn't know that that's not true. And by going, yeah, I could afford all of this £600 worth of stuff, and then going to like creating a different reason for not doing it, you don't spend the money, so you don't have to worry about having no money, but you claim that you've got loads of money, which creates loads of money. And you can do this for anything. If you're in a job and you want another job, you could literally apply for jobs going, I'm just seeing what's out there. I'm already in my perfect job anyway, just seeing what's out there. Your subconscious mind is hearing perfect job. It creates perfect job, despite the fact that you're looking for jobs anyway. So there's something to consider, is if you're going through, like, if you want to do beneficial things without spending money, or, you don't want to have your mind look at things from a bad state, claim another reason that's not regarding financial abundance as to why you won't do something, and you'll get the financial abundance and you don't have to do that thing. But that is a little bit of a daily routine that I urge you to follow. Proactive work in the morning and night to really show your mind that you have what you want, topping up as you go through your day, detaching to allow your desired outcome to actually play out in the way that you want, instead of keeping it quantum locked into what you don't want. And check out the nuances, or consider the nuances, to just help move things along and to stop yourself from doing the undesired things. If you can do this, you'll have 5-figure months in your business too. Or you'll win the lottery, or you'll win at bingo, or whatever it is that you want to manifest will happen. But thank you for being here. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, drop me a like and a comment. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and be sure to click that bell icon. And if you want to spend a little bit of money but get a huge return on your investment, I do have my academy, which is monthly if you want it to be, or lifetime if you want it to be. And on there you can get signing coaching with me, discounts on everything, all of my products for free, like the sort of worksheets and stuff for free, all of my exclusive videos, access to any current and future courses, and much, much more. So go check it out if you're serious about changing your life. But for now, I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.